Hey guys, have you heard of Goldbelly? It's this amazing site where they ship the most iconic, famous foods from restaurants across the country, anywhere, nationwide. I've never found a more perfect gift than food. Goldbelly ships Chicago deep dish pizza, New York bagels, Maine lobster rolls, and even Ina Garden's famous cakes. So, if you're looking for a gift for the food lover in your life, head to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT. That's goldbelly.com, promo code GIFT.
¿Hablas español?
Sprichst du Deutsch?
Komm du noch?
If you used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based techniques teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world, with lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers. Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/Spotify, spelled BABBEL.com/Spotify. Rules and restrictions may apply.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Hey there, hello there, hi there. Welcome to Bwaaa.
Bwaaa.
King of the Hill podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm still rusty.
Rusty, we're doing this remote. I bought myself a nice little neck brace here and had a coupon for some surgery, so went ahead and got that done. But getting there, every day is a little bit better. Having trouble swallowing, but like I said, insert your own joke there. So, how are you?
I'm all right. Sounds like I'm a lot better than you currently.
I'm all right. I took this. I took it. I went into this knowing exactly what it would be, and it's kicked my butt just a little bit harder than that. But other than that, it's fine. And I also took this time to get so many things done. So, like, I got my sinuses done, and then 2 weeks later, got my throat or my neck done. And then I think that's it for now.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Get it all out, get it all taken care of.
Other than getting a nice Brazilian,
A nice Brazilian, yeah. Brazilian steak.
Hey, Artie, how are you? Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. And I was in a box. Hello. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, appreciate everybody here.
Glad we're on that while you can watch. So this week, including yesterday, which if you're watching this on Monday, it would have been Thursday. We've had a little rough spell of deaths. Thank you, Desdemona. Appreciate it.
Celebrity-wise, there's been some celebrity deaths. There's just been some celebrity deaths. And so I went to look them up to see if any of them ever been on King of the Hill. And, there's
of course,
sure.
We know old Chuck, Chuck Mangione. Again, I'm sorry that he's gone, and I'm sure we'll miss him. But he was 84. He's put in some good time, and
he did.
He's a guy that could make a joke out of himself, and that's always nice,
Yeah, I just I appreciate the fact that as a former trumpet player myself, that there was that just shows how good he was at what he did. Because very, very rarely in life do you see somebody known for just playing an instrument like Yo-Yo Ma with the cello, and that I can't remember her name. Her name was like Lindsay, something like that, but she's like a violinist. It's like to be able to get to the pinnacle of your instrument and then be like Grammy nominated just based on your instrumentation is just, I think that speaks volumes for the determination and grit and practice behind the instrument to get to that point.
No, that's absolutely right. He was an amazing. One of these things is like with these kind of people, trumpets, flute players, things like that, they're often way more popular. Yeah, Zemfir. They're often way more popular overseas than they are here. Simply because it's not easy to, it's not like they're putting out albums all the time and they've got big tours and things like that. Yes, they do, but it's not quite the same as like the rock and roll country world that we've all been shoved into.
Yeah, no, I think the world's more cultured than we are too. I think that's why they can listen.
Oh, that's part of it as well. Yeah. Hey, so there were big. I guess there were four that really got me Malcolm Jamal Warner, number one. That
That one was tough. Yeah,
that was
tough.
super sad because it sounded like he didn't really have any issues necessarily. He just had
he drowned. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, Ozzy. Ozzy was a big deal.
Yeah, Ozzy for sure. Ozzy's a big deal for me, and I'll go into that just a little bit. So,
just between me and you, Ozzy should have been dead 20 years ago.
He should have been dead 40 years ago, probably, maybe even 50 years ago. But for Ozzy, for me, being a kid in this area in the 2000s and stuff like that, there was a really big music scene for metal and punk and stuff like that. And just to think that these kids from Birmingham got together, said, "Hey, let's make our own sound." Used all this jazz and blues influence, used the classical influence like on the guitar and arpeggios and stuff like that with the guitar riffs. It just it's crazy to think that just those three guys were able to influence music so much that they helped spawn an entire genre of heavy metal. You don't get Judas Priest for 10 more years after them. So with the dark and the gloominess and bringing the horror side of movies to music, like Black Sabbath is the first to like produce that sound and that type of like vibe. And for me, that's huge because I'm a metalhead. I love metal music, and to think that some of the best, metal guitarists and metal singers and stuff like that, they're influenced. A lot of them will tell you Black Sabbath is like where they get a lot of the sound and stuff from. Judas Priest is pretty big too because of the look and everything, like with all the the metal studs and all that kind of thing. But like Black Sabbath is like the originator of that stuff.
Black Sabbath is always the one that we go back to. When did Zeppelin come around?
Zeppelin is after the Yardbirds ended because Jimmy Page was in the Yardbirds. They started the new Yardbirds, and then after that they went into Led Zeppelin. But that was like around that same time. That was like the 60s and stuff like that, the late 70s or early 70s. But they're like the psychedelic, because that's where metal comes from, is like that psychedelic rock.
Sure.
That's where like it comes from. And then, there's this video that I was listening to now that Ozzy passed away. I was just doing a little diving on heavy metal. There was this video where they talked about the origins of heavy metal, and they talk about some really like songs that I would never have thought would be, like considered heavy, but some of the heaviest songs out. Helter Skelter is one of them. At that time when that came out, that was like one of the heaviest songs as far as like instrumentation and the yelling and stuff.
That's crazy to think of the Beatles.
Yeah. And that's like, you start to see those early elements in that, and it's like Black Sabbath kind of was like the culmination of all that.
Yeah, it's when you think back to it, there's only a few pillars, honestly, that far back, and it's Black Sabbath and probably Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin. You start throwing those things in there. Corey Goodman says Zamfir sold more albums than the Beatles. His music's better too. So that's a Hank quote. Nice job. Artie says they went from being banned when I was in middle school to being played at every commercial break in an NFL game. And
that Deep Purple's another one that they say. Smoke on the Water. Yeah, that's another one they say.
Yeah, Deep Purple, but it's all kind of the same thing. Again,
it's that psychedelic kind of stuff.
It's count on one hand, the ones that created this whole genre.
Yeah,
I was happy. I was lucky enough to see Ozzy 3 or 4 times. It was great concerts. Saw Fat Ozzy, saw Skinny Ozzy, saw Big Hair Ozzy. It was a lot of fun to go to those concerts just because.
Did you see him as Black Sabbath or as Ozzy?
No, as Ozzy. Yeah, I saw him as Ozzy, definitely. But Bark at the Moon tour, and then anything after that, probably 2 more or 3 more albums after that. But the one picture I liked that they posted was him and Zakk Wylde, like together again, that kind of thing.
That's another one of my favorites, Zakk Wylde too, because he kind of carried the torch for the Black Sabbath stuff. He carried the torch for Pantera, so he's kind of done a couple of those things where he's carried
between him and Steve Vai. I mean, those two were very, very influential, and people don't mention their names very much because they weren't really the band.
Zakk Wylde is phenomenal at his instrument. Like, he is an amazing. He's probably one of my favorite guitarists for sure. I really like Zakk Wylde.
Did you ever see Joe Satriani? He played with all these guys too.
Yeah, I know who Joe Satriani is for sure.
He was a bassist, and the only reason I went to see him is because he had Silver Surfer on the cover of his CD.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
And so went to see him, I think in San Antonio. It was the only concert I've ever been to where there was no guitar solo. It was just bass solo in the middle of it. Until I went to a Primus show, and then there you go. You know, Primus is all freaking bass.
That's all it is.
There's an article here. The reason I bring up Ozzy is one, rip, two, how Ozzy Osbourne will live on in King of the Hill's Boomhauer. So honestly, when you think about it, their two speech patterns are pretty close.
Similar, yeah, except for one's got a more English. You know, obviously Ozzy sounds a little more English. Well, Sharon. You know, I was watching a video clip of the Osbournes because now that he's passed, the Osbourne is kind of, I guess they sold the rights to it and got it going again on streaming and stuff. So there was just like this one scene where he's just cussing at all the animals in the house. There's like 3 or 4 cats and some dogs, and he's trying to grill chicken. So he's trying to prep the chicken on the counter, and there's like a cat trying to get to the chicken, and he's like, "Don't you fucking get my chicken? Don't you fucking Sharon, get this fucking cat? This gosh damn dog, this fucking dog." It's just he's just sitting there cussing at all the animals.
Yeah, I like that's a good one. I was in a box. Ozzy sounds like a fancy Boomhauer.
Yeah, fancy Boomhauer.
It does kind of sound like a fancy Boomhauer. And then the other one I wanted to talk about was Hulk Hogan. Now, there's somebody out there who says that he was on King of the Hill. He was not.
He was not on King of the Hill, and he was not a great human being. He was not a nice human being.
No, but I want to talk about early Hulk, and then talk about when this would have been that he would have showed up on King of the Hill, which he did not. But there's somebody out there pushing. What is it? It's the episode where he makes the fancy ass doghouse because of the dander problem, right? And somebody out there is pushing the fact that he was on that. They're full of crap. He was never on it. Yeah, like Artie says, he was on American Dad. I get that, but anyway, Ozzy was never on it. I mean, Hulk Hogan, Ozzy was never. I mean, Hulk Hogan wasn't. Now, the one that was Jake the Snake.
Yeah, Jake the Snake was on.
He was on there. He was on there. Now, Hulk Hogan, big deal when I was a kid. You know, big wrestling deal.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but
Macho Man is what I meant.
Yeah, also on I think the Iron Sheik was on King of the Hill.
Oh, maybe so.
I don't know. I have to verify that. But yeah, I'm sorry.
Ozzy, no, you're fine. Ozzy for me, I mean, geez, I just keep getting them mixed up. Hulk Hogan for me was a big deal. Never really liked him, just as a wrestler, because I thought it was kind of cheesy and goofy. But Stone Cold was the one that came along next, who was kind of the anti Hulk Hogan, and so that's the one I went with, and I really enjoyed that. But anyway, I think that if you ever watch that documentary about Vince McMahon, there's a lot of stuff in there about Hulk Hogan and how he turned on people over and over and over. He also was
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you again, but it was Macho Man Randy Savage that was on King of the Hill.
Not Jake the Snake. Yeah, it was Macho Man.
It was Macho Man, yeah. But Hulk Hogan was on Robot Chicken. They had Hulk Hogan, Iron Sheik, and Rowdy Roddy Piper that did a Robot Chicken thing. And I like the Iron Sheik and the Hulk Hogan's feud. That's what I like about Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, it was fun, and it's really sad to see how the rest of his life played out. It's almost like once he turned heel, to go to ECW, or not ECW, but go to WCW. It's like his whole life went heel. Yeah, it's like his whole life went heel, which is really weird. Let's see, was that the episode?
Yeah, definitely weird.
Bill gets yoked after diabetes diagnosis. That's what Desdemona's asking.
Oh, I'm not 100%.
Jesse Ventura definitely.
Oh
hated it.
yeah, it is.
A lot
It
of them
is. It's
hated
that
Hogan.
one. He's right. Desdemona Mortem is right. That's the one where uh the Macho Man episode is the one where Bill gets ripped. He gets all jacked and stuff. But yeah, so my favorite thing was the Iron Sheik Hulk Hogan beef, because that beef like played out on social media, which was kind of funny watching two 70-year-old men go at it on social media. But the Iron Sheik is funny because even after he died, I guess his estate, whoever had control of his Twitter, would post every so often, "Fuck you, Hulk Hogan," and I think that's amazing that even in his death, he Iron Sheik hated Hulk Hogan so much that they perpetuated it. Yeah, a lot of people really didn't like Hulk Hogan. Jesse
No.
Ventura, I'm sure most black wrestlers probably didn't like him either.
Well,
Uh,
he also turned out to be kind of a liar. He lied about a lot of things.
Yeah, the more you dig into a lot of these early sports and how they're formed, not just wrestling, but even if you look into some of the early stuff behind baseball and football and basketball, you find some kind of nefarious dude that's behind it. There's some kind of businessman or
Yep.
some of the actors that are involved in setting up these organizations. There's always kind of some kind of flaw to the system kind of thing.
Well,
But
it's usually, I mean, the kind of guys that it takes to get this kind of money and this kind of distribution and to kind of be an iron-hearted, boss. Those are
yeah.
not the kind of guys you want to hang out with anyway, to be honest
Nah,
with you.
probably not. And Vince McMahon did take something that his dad was almost broke with and make it, $1 billion a company. It's kind of I watched
He
that
did.
Vince McMahon story on Netflix. It was
Yeah.
pretty interesting. For all the things, that are evil about him, he did create, and that's what really his ruthlessness is what allowed him to create the WWE.
Yes.
You go into those
Yes.
smaller territories and just dominate those territories and go in there and just buy everybody out, and he did it till he owned everything to do with wrestling in the United States.
Artie said he got yoked when he had to take his physical. The diabetes episode is when Bill got a wheelchair.
Oh, okay. Well, either or, yeah.
I was in the box, said, wait, Hulk Hogan was a liar? Are you telling me he didn't play bass in Metallica?
Yeah, he did. I saw it. I was
And by the
there.
way, you guys need to check out his chain restaurants, his chain spaghetti restaurants. He was
Yeah.
going to start his, what was it? Was it Hulkster pasta or something? It was something really stupid like that.
Yeah, and I liked him
Pastamania.
in
Pastamania.
Beverly Hills Ninja or whatever he was in, but
Where he's
we'll
with
let
that little dog.
we'll let him rest in we'll let him rest peacefully.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine being one of these guys' kids though. Even like Ozzy, that would have been very hard.
I imagine Ozzy's relationship with his kids is, it's funny to say because everybody would say that Ozzy is this or that. He slaughters animals and sacrifices this, and he's worships Satan, but he really was like a devout member of the Church of England, which is a Christian church. And maybe not for his first two kids, you can't say, but at least for the three kids that he had with Sharon, he was there in their lives and involved in their lives more than most rock stars were involved in their kids' lives. So, I don't know. I feel like with Ozzy's death compared to Hulk Hogan's death, Hulk Hogan's kids pretty much disliked the guy pretty much, because Brooke Hogan, he called I don't know. I think it was her boyfriend or something is who he said the N-word to or about, that he got caught on camera saying. So I don't know. I feel like they're probably upset. It's still their dad, but I feel like maybe they don't feel the same way.
Sure.
Maybe.
Hey, I want to
know.
give you an update on something. By the way, I installed a Ring doorbell at my house.
Oh yeah.
What I didn't realize is that Ring doorbells come with an online community.
Yeah, they do.
This one says, I backed into my driveway with a blinker. She proceeds to deface my mailbox a few minutes later. If you know her, comment the name so it could be added to the police report. So there's this poor lady who's just backing out of her driveway
Yeah.
See that? Okay.
She didn't touch anything.
And then this old lady comes up to her mailbox and starts messing with it. Every day that she leaves, she comes up and starts messing with her mailbox.
That's weird.
I don't know.
That's hilarious.
I love that kind of stuff, though. That neighborhood app, things like
that.
I
love that, too. Oh, there was one time that killed me. It was a woman whose husband who had died, and all she did for 9 months after he died was buy shoes. And she gave this long description of why she was selling the shoes. She was like, well, my husband died, and when my husband died, I started doing and it's just this really long paragraph where she explains that she was doing retail therapy and she bought a bunch of shoes and how her husband died, and she explained how he died and all that. And
all the dogs are running streets.
What killed me was the comment section. There was one. There's only one that I remember. There was a ton of funny ones, but there's only one that I remember. Is sorry your husband died. These are a size 9. They won't fit me. Good luck with selling your shoes. Kill me. They just, I don't know. It was the most funniest thing in the world. It was just a bunch of like 60, 70, 80-year-old women just talking about shoes and saying, sorry your husband died. Those are a size 9. Won't fit me. I'm a size 7. And it's just like filled with that kind of stuff all through there. Like they don't even have to comment. If it's not your size shoe, you don't have to say anything.
One of the
size 9, that's too big for me. Sorry your husband died.
One of the best things I listen to is called The Neighborhood Listen. It's with Paul F. Tompkins, and I know I've mentioned it here before, but that's exactly what it is. They just make fun of those posts and stuff. Very, very good show. If you guys need something to listen to other than us, please go check it out.
Those posts are hilarious. It just doesn't like I feel like social media wasn't fully understood by that generation, and they don't understand that they're like you could filter what you see. You don't have to tell every detail in your head. It's like those ones that are bad where it's like a grandpa trying to look up porn and he's on Facebook and he's like big tits and he hits enter and he sends just the word big tits to his Facebook page. It's it's that kind of incompetence.
Well, and the ones that I always love are the backgrounds that don't match. So it'll be like a happy birthday, that kind of thing with somebody like that with presents all around it and go, Jeff died yesterday or something, that doesn't fit.
Yeah.
All right. Artie says 2 big shoes. Was it Peggy? Did Hank die? Yeah, I know we got a little off the rails there.
Oh, we're allowed to. It's our show.
Hey, thanks, Artie. Thanks, I was in a box. Thanks, Desdemona. Thanks to Cody. Blah 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 blah. You guys,
thanks to everybody.
You guys are what makes it worth doing this. We really appreciate it. Sorry, I couldn't do a little bit longer today. My voice is kind of kicking my butt after this, but next week we should be fine.
We'll be back to it. Is it? I can't remember, and I feel bad if I'm getting it wrong. I was in a box. Isn't it you that wants to come to the studio? He's got like two different. I don't think it's I was in a box.
I don't think it was either.
I think I'm confusing him with the other guy. Yeah, I am. I'm confusing him with the other guy. Okay,
we've got a person in town that really wants to be on the show.
Yes, I am.
And that's why we didn't try to do an actual episode this time, because we knew they were going to be shorter and my voice will only go so long. So
yeah, and I don't know what that guy's availability is. I got to get back with him and find out.
We do. I would love to do that with him. That'd be great, because he wanted to specifically be on that episode. So
yeah, I'm gonna get with him again and find out when his off day is, so we can.
Well, tell him where they can find us.
You can find us at bwaaaakoth@gmail.com is our email. Send us an email. And also, you can find us at bwaaaakoth on all social medias. Go to our Facebook, YouTube. Give us follow, like, subscribe, hit notification bells. We do go live when we record. So if you hear us talking to people like Artie, I was in a box, Desdemona Mortem, blah blah blah, if you hear us talking to any of those people, that's where we're talking to them at. So go over there to YouTube, hit the notification. I also want to thank everybody that subscribed to us recently. We're at 1.23k subscribers now, and we couldn't do that without you guys. We do appreciate everybody following us and doing all that. You're helping out and getting our show out there. Also tell a friend about our show, and hope you all have a great week. Oh yeah, word of mouth. That's pretty much a lot of what what has been done for our show is word of mouth. So keep passing it on to the next one. Also want to give a shout out to the Ho Yeah podcast.
Yeah.
They've kicked their show back up again. I don't know how long they're going to run for, but I've went back and watched a lot of their episodes. So yeah, they're back again, and wish them a lot of success. So y'all go give them a shout out and check them out.
Still would love to talk to them on the show.
Yeah, I need to reach back out to them and see where they're at with that. It would be great to talk to them. If anybody on this show wants to go comment on their stuff and be like, hey, it would be great to hear y'all do this with them or collaborate with them or whatever, that would be cool too. So Ho Yeah, Ho Yeah, exclamation point, Ho Yeah podcast. Like we picked what Hank says, Bwaaa. They picked what Peggy says, Ho Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't even think about that. You know, I never really correlated that. That's like Peggy's catchphrase and Hank's catchphrase for our correlating podcast, two guys and two women. Yeah, no, that never really clicked. That's cool.
I'm sure we could find,
yeah.
I'm sure we could find a That's Not My Purse podcast.
There is, I'm pretty sure that I think there is one.
You finished the triangle at that point.
You have, and then it would need to be just a big group episode with everybody. And then what do you guys?
Thanks again for joining us.
A Shasha podcast.
Shasha. That's true.
There you go.
It's true. And then the other one's just
Pocket Sand, the podcast, and it's just a conspiracy.
It's a Pocket Sandcast.
There you go. I was gonna say it could just be a Pocket Sand, the podcast. It's just a conspiracy theory podcast.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Yeah,
it's not a bad one. All right, guys, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Thanks for understanding during this kind of shorter episode, but we'll see you again. We've got one on Friday, and then we'll see you again on Monday.
And if you're in the chat on YouTube, hold on. We'll be right back. And for everybody else, we Matanye.
We Matanye indeed, my friend.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.